Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Well, good morning. Good morning. That's from an hour on the treadmill. Good morning. How are you guys? Happy hump day. Doesn't feel like Wednesday, does it? I need to move this up a little. You're missing my hat. There we go. Good morning. Wait, now you can't see Power Week Symposium on my shirt. I'm just trying to get it right. Okay, there we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. It's Wednesday, the second day of June. Yes, it's June. Just the name June feels like summer. Sounds like summer, even though last week it was cold here. I put a plan out. Well, we always jump the gun some way. Either we plant our stuff in the yard too soon. I have a garden this year, too. It's doing well. But I put a couple house plants out on our deck. You know, that first weekend, about 3 weeks ago, when it was like 80 degrees. The next day, it was like 40 in the middle of the night, and one of my favorite plants kind of froze. So, yeah, it's in the hospital up front. So, anyway, I am trying to nurse it back to health. How's everybody doing? You know, happy Pride Month. It is the second day of Pride Month. I'm so excited. Got some PSAs coming out for the Triple Nickel brand and then Unity line. I'll tell you more about that as we get into the month. I do just want to say to all of you, wait a minute. Happy Pride Month. Yay. Who do you know? Are you an ally? Do you have an LGBTQ plus person somewhere in your world? Trust me, whether you know it or not, you do. Or Chances are that you do. So much going on in the world. Masks are coming off all over the country, all over the world, actually. It just still feels kind of strange to be walking around in the grocery store with no mask on. And then now I'm reconvening with people, you know, like at the grocery store. Yesterday I was talking to Tyler, a girl that works there. She's like a daughter, really. I take her food and stuff on the holidays, and she had her mask off, and I was like, did you change your hair? And then I'm thinking, did you have some work done? I'm looking all close. She's only like 20 years old, so of course she didn't. But then it dawned on us that it's because I see your whole face now. So welcome back, whole face people. That is the bell of purpose. It means that when you hear that ring, something great is going on. We got some content that we want you to lean in, pay close attention to. So that's what the bell of purpose means. It's not just us here, my guest or myself. It's you too, your comments. So put them in there. We care about how you feel. This is the place where the conversation begins. Can I get an amen? Thank you. Share this broadcast out right now. Be of service when we are. Trust me, you will be blessed. The universe is watching closely. You will be blessed in the manner in which you wish to bless others. Because, you know, not every blessing we offer is received. All right? Can I get an amen? So, but as long as you've done your part, it's coming back to you twice, 3, 4, 8, 10, 12, a million times over. Trust me. Be of service. Share this broadcast out, because today my guest has been here before. He's here again, Adam DUVAL from the UK. It's late there. I don't know what time, but I'm sure he's going to tell us. And we're here, you know, Mental Health Awareness Month. I know it wasn't so long ago. I'm not exactly sure when. I can't keep all these months straight. Even just the regular name of the month, January, February, March, let alone all the things, you know, Cotton Candy Month, Polish Your Shoes Month, all that. But we're going to talk about that because he is a mental health warrior and he is an advocate of mental health. And I find it very fitting to talk about that. And today I wanted to tie it in with Pride Month, because, you know, there are a lot of people who don't get to celebrate Pride. A lot of people think I did, and I'm LGBT myself. I did for many years, thought that the parades and stuff was all that Pride Month was all about, but it is not. And I am making it my personal mission to bring some things to the forefront during the next 29 days or so that you may not have known or have forgotten, but nonetheless, topics regarding the LGBT community that I think we need to share and talk about. So I'm going to start with this real quick before we get my guest in here, because he'll probably have a thing or two to say about this topic. But right now, I wanted us to take a look at something I found regarding the LGBTQ suicide rates, why they remain high, but there is hope. Now, this is just not even a year ago, so it's the most recent I could find. Let's take a look.
What is the worst incident that has ever happened to you since you've been gay, as far as being gay?
I guess my parents, you know, them finding out was the worst.
When we think about the experiences of sexual and gender minority youth in the United States today, it's really, to some extent, a story of 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Lesbian, gay, and bisexual youth are somewhere between 3 and 5 times more likely to report making a suicide attempt compared to their heterosexual peers. You can't just say that we have broader social acceptance, that we have gay characters on TV, and so now suicide disparities are going to go away. These disparities have existed for over 25 years, and they haven't shrunk over those 25 years.
Are y'all getting chills when you read that? I was.
Exists outside of the binary. I don't identify with a gender. I was afraid that my chick friends wouldn't want me to come over, hang out with me anymore.
The higher rate that exists among LGBT people exists because of what we call in research minority stress. Simple forms at school that ask who you are in terms of your gender, and if it only includes boy and girl, it's leaving out youth who may identify not as a boy or girl. Those experiences all build up to really show or document that increase in risk.
If we're going to address this inequity, we have to begin by understanding what are the tools that we need to do it. We need specialized interventions that would specifically meet the needs of sexual minority youth.
Cottonwood exists in kind of this weird in-between. Jerome has a really diverse community and a very out and proud LGBTQ plus community. Sedona the same way, but generally the climate hasn't been as positive in terms of quote alternative lifestyles.
LGBT settings in general, including gay straight alliances, really build a place of belongingness. And that belongingness translates into greater self-esteem, greater social support, better coping mechanisms.
When I came here, seeing that we didn't have something like that for our LGBTQ plus students, a lot of whom really need the support, it was important to me to try to create that for them.
It's just a place where I can go and feel not like gay is this weird thing about me. It's just a thing. Because everyone else there is queer too. Well, almost everyone. Like, you're not the only queer kid in the room. You're a queer kid in the room.
A second wave of coronavirus infections this winter likely will be worse.
Potential need for those measures and school closures to continue until 2022.
The worst is yet ahead of us.
It's hard as a rural community to shift to a totally digital platform in just a couple of weeks, but they're trying to do things that, you know, are supporting while they can. If the days are blurry. It is the 49th of February, March. I have no idea. Yeah. Thursday. So, all right, Ryder, what's been going on in your world?
I'm missing looking into the future and being optimistic about it.
Just because things get postponed doesn't mean that they go away. There's still chapters to the story, even though they're not written the way we want right now.
Okay, now that was a tie-in for Pride Month, but the suicide epidemic is just that, an epidemic, not gender bias. It is not economically biased. It is not racially biased. It is a killer. It is a horrible, horrible thing that so many deal with, and depression and a lot of things lead to that final road. So we're going to get into that and more today with our guest, Adam DUVAL. So let's get your comments together, get your questions together, and let's just have a great conversation. Could we do that? It doesn't matter how many people are actually here. The promise tells us that where two or more come together, something wonderful will happen. Not could, should, might, but it will. So you guys put your hearts into this program today, this opportunity. Pour into each other and allow yourself to be poured within, and put some hearts on the screen. They're free. Put some hearts on the screen as we welcome to the stage my good friend and mental health advocate and warrior, Adam DUVAL. Ahoy, matey. Hello, Adam.
Hello?
Hello. You can't hear me?
No.
You did before.
Hello?
Hello.
I can't hear.
I don't know why. I love your voice. You can't, but you can't hear me? I hear it coming back. He's in the UK, you guys. Who knows what's going on over there? Adam, you could hear me when you're in the green room. Wait a minute. You're not muted. Ooh, that means something good's going to happen here. Whenever those tech demons try to mess things up, you guys pour some love, pour some light in here, and let's get this sound going because we can fix things, right? Adam, go ahead and check your in here. You got two things open because I hear things, right? Like a feedback. Adam, go ahead and check your. Is your phone involved? In here. You got two things open because I hear. Y'all hear that? Right? Because I hear things, right? Like Sherry McQueen. Should be Sherry MacGyver. Sherry McQueen. Any suggestions? Okay, well, Adam, whatever it is, just breathe. You need to. Are you on your laptop? I know he is.
Oh, can you
Go
hear
out
me?
and come back. Mm-hmm. It's odd, you guys, because in the green room we were talking back and forth. No problem. You know who that? You know what
No,
that
I'm
is.
using the phone.
You're using the phone? Don't use the phone. You guys might remember I need some chapstick, y'all. The last time Adam was here, we got so down and deep that he was bedridden for the next couple days because he deals with severe depression. So I wanted to make sure he was ready to come back, and he said it was a great thing. He's going to talk about it today if we can get some sound on his side of the table. But you know how I feel. Trick no good.
I'll use two devices.
Might work. Why don't you go on your computer? He's reading what it's saying. Oh Lord. I'm gonna ask. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna put in the private chat. Ask him, go out and come back. I know. Only use. I mean, I know Sherry McQueen. Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear everything coming back like 5 seconds late. So anyway, boy, have you guys been experiencing in the last week like your lips feel like, like you've been in Antarctica? I have. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I was walking around the grocery store all proud that I didn't have to wear a mask, right? Got over to the frozen food aisle and I looked, you know how you get the reflection before you open the doors to the, that kind of, yeah, right. And I looked at myself, I kid you not, it scared me. I could have sworn I was wearing white lipstick. That's how ashy my lips were. They were completely white. I was like, I started to go buy some Wesson oil in the in that lane and just use it for some lip gloss. I didn't. I just kept licking them. Probably why they're so ashy. Let's see if he's back. Let's see. Can you hear?
Loud and clear.
See, you had to go back out. You know what that was? That's because we got something good going on. And negative forces, they can ride on any wave.
Oh yeah.
The air waves, the sound wave, they can ride on anything, but that's okay because we have what it takes to knock their asses right off. So goodbye, and hello, Adam. So happy you're here.
Thank you.
I love you. You look so sparky and spunky. Does this have anything to do with the loosening of the COVID restrictions? What's going on over there in the UK with that? You guys still wearing masks everywhere?
Breaking news, I've never wore a mask.
You rebel.
I know.
Well, what's the general thing? What's the general consensus? Masks, no masks? What's going on?
People are still wearing masks, even though the restrictions were dampened, lowered on the May the 17th. People are still being cautious and still getting the vaccine, still wearing the masks.
Good. Okay. Good. Oh, before I forget, excuse me. Welcome to the show. Before she sues me, my sidekick, my best gal, my version of Ed McMahon, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Here we go. Cheers. So, Adam, welcome back. Been a minute. You got a lot of stuff going on. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them where you're at and tell them what it is you do in the mental health arena and why.
Right. My name is Adam DUVAL, the mental health warrior. I will explain what a mental health warrior is. I'm here in the UK. I don't like the place. Another reason. That's another story. But the reason I do what I do, I coach people, and I change people's lives, get people's stories out there about mental health. And the reason I do this because of what I went through. I lived a traumatic life growing up to the point I was bullied from the age of 3 years old, where my own dad punched me in the face because I was unable to ride a bike. Now, that was when the
What the hell?
That was when the toxic started. But to the point I attempted suicide. But now I'm here, I'm back, and mental health, I'm on a mission to end that stigma.
I hear you. So, Adam, how old are you today?
I'm 30.
Is that all? Just 30, just a baby yourself. Okay, but great time in your life to have pulled it together to at least know what you're dealing with. So, okay, so let's go back and talk about the trauma between, that was heaped upon you. What was, a lot of people have that, something like that growing up. A lot of people, some kind of abuse, abandonment, all kinds of different things. We all did. How old were you when you experienced your first fracture and were thinking suicide?
The thoughts of suicide started when I was about 8 years old.
8 years old. So can you kind of, I'm not trying to trigger you or anything, so I'm going to move very carefully, but can you explain what it felt like to an 8-year-old with a life just laid out in front of him? What was speaking to you? What did that voice say? Or what did that dictating voice try, a dictator, dictatorship, what was that voice saying to you to make you feel like as an 8-year-old you were done?
Well, obviously, when I was 8 years old, I still didn't know, I weren't mature enough. I didn't even know mental health actually existed. I didn't.
Good point.
And when I found out mental health actually existed, I was around about 25 years old.
Okay.
So 5 years ago, that's when I found out. So I just didn't know what I was doing.
Do you remember it? Do you remember that 8-year-old boy? Okay. Yeah. So what did he start saying to himself? And did he tell anybody? Did you put a plan together? You were headed towards it, but then clearly, I don't know if you even actually tried to pull the trigger. No pun intended.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So tell us about inside that tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel, it's dark. For anyone that's never witnessed or had that experience of that dark place, rock bottom, it's negative. It really is negative. But it also can be positive as well. It can also be positive. And I'll get to the reason why it's positive in a minute.
I love that.
But the negative, it feels like you're in this room and the walls are closing in on you. That's how it feels. So you're isolated, you're claustrophobic, you're just everything. But the positive side, yeah, there's only one way up, and that's up.
Now, Adam, I understand that you may, a lot of kids, because that's an interesting thing. I never thought of this before until just now. All the kids that I crossed paths with in the foster system, in and out of 22 homes, I don't think one kid ever admitted to me or out loud to any of us there that they were considering suicide, although I'm sure most, if not all, had entertained the thought at some point of this journey in there. Yeah. So who did you tell, or did you tell no one?
I've told no one.
Not even people at school?
Nope.
How did you get yourself out of that situation then?
Excuses. I used excuses, and that 8-year-old boy, even when I was 15 and 16-year-old, I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't. I never had an identity. Never. So
who were you pretending to be?
Who people wanted me to be. So I was actually satisfying them. So I was about 30 people in a day. I just would, because I had that mask on. And even on a beautiful sunny day like it is today, I still wore a cotton jacket, cotton jumper, just to hide those fresh bruises. And yeah, I got questioned, why am I wearing them? And I just came up with a lot of excuses just to change the topic.
So you were being physically abused on a consistent basis, sometimes
Daily basis, yeah.
daily basis. So you don't
Daily
even,
basis.
not even a break in between, like every Wednesday off or nothing, every single day.
Yep.
Just you? Were there other kids, other siblings in the home?
There were other siblings, but I got it. I got it all because of a lack of understanding due to my disability.
Talk about that. What is this disability you speak of?
Dyspraxia. 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 It affects your coordination. And I couldn't ride a bike until I was 9 years old. 9 years old, and it still frightens me today, knowing that I've got all these challenges I'm dealing with, but I can't believe I'm doing it so well.
Right?
Yeah, because I was struggled before, but now I've got the handle of things.
So let's talk about that. When in the journey did the transition begin? Can you go back? Do you remember the first time something looked like it had some light in it, around it, about it? What was your hope? What was it? What was it that turned the lights on?
My partner's going to kill me when I say this. It was actually when my first daughter was born.
Okay.
Because obviously when my son was born, because my son's the eldest, I was petrified, and I actually turned to alcohol. I was a crap dad at first. I was crap, and I actually turned to alcohol, and I really was a horrible person back then. But now my daughter is here. She's 8 this week.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, on Saturday. On Saturday she'll be 8.
That's a great age.
She don't act it though.
Well, she's 8. That's why it's a great age.
Exactly.
You're old enough to speak your mind and old enough to get,
Yeah, but I think what my partner said, obviously she gave me an ultimatum: social life or family life. And obviously I ditched social life. And I have no regrets. No regrets. So, and this is who I am today. I've grown ever since.
So were you like a huge partier?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was never at my son's birth. I got sent home. NHS. They didn't believe my partner was in labour, even though she was. But
what is NHS?
National Health Services. NHS.
Okay. And when you said passed on, what did you mean?
No, when my partner was in labour with my son, and the nurses just didn't believe her. They didn't. Exactly.
You ain't in labour. That's probably gas. Go home. That kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got sent home, but then I was there for my daughter.
So you have how many children today, Adam?
I've got 3 in total.
3 children. And a lot of people wonder about this. Oh, here, I want to talk about this because mental illness inside of families.
Oh, yes.
Now, I know for a fact, and I didn't know this until maybe as recently as a few years ago. I have 2 families, and one of them, there is definitely a reoccurrence and no questions about it, some form of a mental illness in there, like a genetic thing. So let's talk about that, because I know you've done a lot of research on it. I don't think a lot of us understand how there are several different ways, yes or no, that mental illness. Talk about what you know, Adam. I know you're not, just tell us what you found as a regular person. Like, okay, good. Tell us about how are they different? Just take it and run with that.
Mental illness, people think they're different, but they're not. There actually is a massive connection, and it can actually, as well as mental and physical health and spiritual health, they all think they are separate, but no, there is a massive connection between them, because mental health starts in the mindset. It always starts with your mind, and it can either be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy. I've witnessed both, and at some point, so will others. So will others. But it's all a matter of time. But if you have got those strategies to get control of your own mindset, mental health will just come and go like you've just never even noticed it come along.
Right. Now let's talk about this part, because this is how it affected me. When people started bringing up the term mental health to me, how's your mental health? Have you spoken to someone regarding your mental health? Now, first of all, I wanted to fight. Second of all, it didn't matter who it was, how much I respected them, whether they were family, friend, or foe. When they said those kinds of things to me, and I was deep inside of it, I didn't like the way it sounded, because I thought it meant straitjacket, crazy house, one flew over the cuckoo's nest, all of that. And let's talk about the stigma, which prevents a lot of us from even being willing to consider that a little thing, mental health. It's not like when you're talking about your mental health, it means you have 15 different people in you. You're not, it doesn't mean you're Sybil, doesn't mean you're mommy dearest. It means what? What does it mean when,
well,
health?
I think the stigma starts, like I can point fingers left, right, and centre, but I'm not going to go into that. But I think the stigma starts with the word mental health itself. The word mental, that's where the stigma starts. And you know what? And I'm sorry if it does anyone's anything, but it pees me off knowing that the word mental is there, because when someone admits, oh, I've got mental health challenges, suddenly someone thinks, oh, this man or woman's mental.
Oh, look at the time.
Don't go near them.
Right. Oh, mental health. Oh, that's interesting. Listen, I just got texted, my house is on fire. I'll call you. You know what I'm saying? Really. So, and the thing about it is, let's lay it next to physical health. Now, if by physical health, you say, how you doing? Oh, I got a slight cold. It's affecting my physical health. Or, how you doing? I got some bad news. I have stage 4 cancer. I'm going to die in a week. Physical health, one spectrum. Physical health, the far end of the spectrum. Mental health, you could have a little thing that's equivalent to a cold.
Yep.
Which could be paranoia. It could be depression, temporary depression. Let's talk about that. What are some of the small things that aren't such a big deal, but they still fall under proper mental health that we fix all the time? You see what I'm saying? It's not every mental health issue is something that requires you to go to a professional about. Can you give us some examples of mental health things? Because isn't that why a lot of us are into personal development, to keep putting nutrients and supplements inside of our mental health world, just like we take vitamins and supplements for our physical health world?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Lauren, because I grew up and I was in and out of hospital every 6 months because of medication. I was in and out because of how much medication I was intaking. But I have now gone just over 3 years without a single tablet.
See?
Because it's alternatives. And I always tell my clients, when they're on medication, find an alternative. Because you're always making something big, even though it's something small.
And
yeah.
Excuse me for button, but that's why I'm so glad you're here, Adam. And it's so true, because I have today, say for instance, the ADHD medication that they gave me. Honey, how many years ago did they start me on that? 2 or 3 years ago? I think I still have the original. I might be on the second script of that, but I found alternatives. There's a CBD spray, Calm, that I use, just a spray under the tongue. There's all kinds of stuff. There's gummies for that. There's all kinds of stuff for that. And I have not reached for those pills since. Now,
brilliant.
Why do you think that is, that they send you straight to? I think I have a theory, conspiracy theory.
Don't get me started.
Report to your leader. But So let's talk about some of the alternatives you reached for and how did you get to that place. Bye, honey. Have a great day. I love you. See you tonight. Hold on. Alexa, be quiet. She was about to tell me a whole bunch of history. So what was it you reached for as an alternative first? And what kind of research did you do? How did you know the forest from the trees? Did someone say, I'm on this, I'm trying this, try this supplement or try this tea or whatever? How'd that work for you?
I actually started my research ever since I did my coaching qualification, my level 2, which was all just over a year ago. And we covered self-care. So I was just diving right into it about self-care, where there's alternatives. There's reading a book, there's writing a book, there's music, there's dancing, there's just all sorts out there. And it is known that just here in the UK, prescription medications are on the rise, but therapists are on the law. Wonder why.
Yeah. Good point. What about the person, Adam, who knows that something is off, but a lot of people say this, well, it's always been that way. It's just how I am.
Yeah.
It runs in my family, that sort of thing. Ew, that was gross. It runs in my family. All of those excuses.
Yeah.
What do you say? Let's use your clients for an example.
Okay.
When people come to you, do they really, how much do they really know about what has made them make that move or that decision to coach with someone, go to a therapist, order that book, listen to that podcast, whatever it is that opens the door to new possibilities? What do you find?
Well, speaking of therapists, I was dealing with a client a few weeks back, and when I was speaking to him over the phone, he turned around to me and said, "You know what? I'm glad that I came across you, Adam, because I've come across many therapists in my life, and they've just told me what to do." And it's like that ain't what people want. They don't want to be told what to do. They want strategies. They want to be provided strategies, and that is what I do. I always give them techniques because all I do is speak from experience.
Right.
With what I do. We've all got our own strategies. Some may work, some may not. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, don't see it as a strategy. See it as an opportunity.
An opportunity. You know, amen, and amen to that. Just had the same conversation with one of my clients yesterday about opportunity versus the opposite.
Yes.
You know, and I always say the opposite because there's a million different faces that you can put on the opposite. So just say if it's not what you want, it's the opposite, and leave it there. Because if you keep trying to find the right label, that's just longer. You're just walking deeper into that forest. Just know, you know what I'm saying? So, okay. Opportunities. Okay. People come to you and options. How do you find that most people let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, how resistant are most of us, even though we're the ones? I mean, the first time I went to NLP, to hypnotherapy back in 1988, okay, which led to that People Magazine thing up there. If you watched my masterclass, shameless plug on the way, I'm just going to admit it right there. If you watch my masterclass, I tell that story in there about how I didn't want to go. And but even though I showed up, I followed what I was being led to do, I still didn't believe it would work. I still didn't believe it would work on people like me. I knew, because I'd been in audiences, like even in high school, where the guy came and called some people up as volunteers, and they were all clucking like chickens and stuff like that. So I believed in hypnotherapy and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, but I just didn't think it could work for me. I thought I was just too far gone. Now, and when I walked through her door, the very first thing she did was she reached for my arm and she pulled it, and it didn't move at all. It was frozen. She goes, "Oh, okay, I can tell we got some work to do because you are naturally resistant."
Yeah.
You know, and you've got to want it. So let's talk about that piece. Is that the thing that gets us to the starting line, even though we may sit there and go, "What in the hell am I doing here?" Shit. Once you're there and it dawns on you, a lot of people get up and run. This was a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't need this. And they get up and run, but they were right all along. What is it that we can do to keep, who whispers to you? Who was whispering to you every time you went into something? You go, oh, I don't know. Maybe I should just say screw it. What kept you from giving up, Adam?
Not just my kids, but because of what I love. Because of what I love. Now, people will say if you get into the mental health industry, it's going to be tough. You're going to be affected. And you know what? I bet, yeah, it has been tough. But you know what? I don't regret it. And I've never looked back ever since I've been here. Never looked back. But the biggest stigma and the biggest unspeakable topic is, when it comes to mental health, is depression. Depression. Now, obviously, I've got a strategy for describing depression.
Okay.
Which is brilliant. Now, I always tell clients, and even people on my podcast as well, is if somebody writes the word depression in big, bold letters, make a statement out of that word, and they won't know what I'm talking about. Like, right, okay, so take the words. Like, take the word letter I, there's your first one. Then pressed, then on. So out of depression, you've got I pressed on.
All the letters are in there.
Do you want to try it, Lorraine? Do you want to try it?
I'll try it. I'm game.
Right.
Walk me through it.
Yeah, even for the viewers as well. If you got paper and pen, write the word depression.
Write the word depression.
Right. Well, yeah. Write the word depression.
I'm glad you picked a word I can spell. That could have been embarrassing. Watch me spell it wrong. Okay. I've written the word depression.
Right. Okay. Right. Now, the first letter will be I.
What do I do with it?
Right. Put it underneath.
Just take it underneath.
Yeah, the letter I. Right. So, obviously, you can, yeah. Right. Then get the PRESSED. And then you're left with two last letters, O and N.
Yes. I press on.
There you go.
And that's like impossible. I'm possible.
Yeah.
The way they changed that. And you know what, though? That's a real thing, Adam. That's a real thing, because, like, fearless. I know it doesn't mean I'm never going to be afraid. It means fearless. I will be able to fear less and less and less as I grow more and more and more. So I don't think it's possible to ever be completely devoid of fear. I don't believe that it's possible to be completely devoid of anger. Things like that, because we need those for our emotional palate.
Yep.
We have them. They're there for balance. So that, because anger is how a lot of people let the pressure cooker go. You see what I mean? Instead of pushing till it blows, and a reaction changes your life in the split second. You don't believe me? Go to prison and talk to people that were in there since they were 15 or 16. It wasn't that their mind was all screwed up and they were going to be somebody horrible all their lives. The emotion and the depression and all the things that were emotionally fueling that one powder keg all came together at the same time. They felt they had no other options.
Exactly.
And they reacted. That's why it's called a knee-jerk reaction and not a knee-jerk response. Right? So let's talk. Let's go back to some of the options, some of the solutions, things that, how important. Okay, where do we start? Do we start with, okay, I decide today I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I remember actually saying that, even though I felt it was cliche. It came out of my mouth, and it was actually the verbal starter's pistol in my world. So I want to ask what you feel. What do you say to people when it's time to do this? Because if you're going to be trying to build something to move you forward, you don't want to be dragging 18 pounds of cement behind you, otherwise known as toxic influences. So let's go there. Can you tell us what you tell your clients? How do you work with your clients on getting rid of the things that are working against them, that are not servicing them, that they don't see as that?
See, about 95% of the people I come across, every time they said, oh, I can't be bothered doing this, can't be bothered doing that, 95% of the time, they're still tucked up in their beds. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're still tucked up under the quilt, can't be bothered moving. So I always guide them, and this is to everyone else, including you, Lorraine. If you ever say, I can't be bothered, don't see getting up and making your bed as a chore. Never see it as a chore. see it as a I can't remember the word now.
I say an opportunity.
Yeah.
I want to read Sherry McQueen. Thank you. Girl Friday, Woman Friday. Sherry, thank God she keeps me in line. I had left the D. Okay, so it's I pressed on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot the E and the D up here. Oops, sorry, wrong finger. I pressed on, and it's true. You can just change the entire meaning and go. I love that, because what that forces, and then we let you go on for what you were saying. Sorry to interrupt, but that I pressed on, you can go into something and dismantle it, recreate it, reconfigure it. And what I love about is because it's R and E. And it ties into, and when you switch that, it's ER. When people say, I want to be happier, I want to be smarter, I want to be stronger. And we get up every day, even when I was depressed, on my back. The window could be 3 feet from me in the court. I could see light, a bright sunny day peeking through the edges and stuff. But I still didn't have the energy. I didn't have what it took to pull the cord to lift that blind up and let that sun in. But that's because I know today, Adam, I did not value that I didn't know that I was already great just because I made it to this day. I thought I had to get up every day and use all 26 letters of the alphabet to exist, and I didn't. All I had to do was get up and look for an E and an R, because I was already great and I was trying to be greater. I was already nice. I just wanted to be nicer. I was already smart.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I just needed, right. But then what I didn't get okay, so I got that part when I'm starting to lift myself out of the depression bed. But then I somehow didn't understand that if you want increase, you want things to get bigger, better, brighter, stronger, it's going to be more crap to deal with, more need for personal development, more of everything. But the great part is there's the RE that I was talking about. Every day I get to get up and reassess my needs. I get to reevaluate my work. I get to reinvest in myself and be of service to others. So it's a beautiful 2-letter combination. Yeah. And I found that by doing exactly what you said with the I pressed on, taking literal words and seeing what other message could be shrouded inside of it.
And while you do that, and to the viewers as well, always see yourself not just as a human, but see yourself as a seed as well.
A what?
A seed. Like
a seed.
Yeah. Like, Lorraine, just a bit of a practical. What's your favorite flower?
My favorite flower is actually, man, I have a lot of them. I would say lilies.
Lilies. Okay. Right. Say you're that lily seed, and you've got all this shit coming your way. The compost, people already know what it's made out of.
Compost is made out of shit.
Exactly. It needs sun, it needs love, it needs water. Those are the 3 main ingredients. That's what we need as well. And then once we've got that, we will start to blossom. So we need shit in our lives for us to grow.
Yes, we do. We do. So when you tell somebody that, okay, you have a person, they're there, you take them, can you take us through the first 3 PowerPoints? What's the first place? Where do you send people first?
To inside their mind.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so they're inside their mind, and I'm looking for something. Oh, here come the tips. So number 1, inside their minds. And what do you tell them to do once they're in there?
Look for the problem and then admit there is a problem to solve.
Because if a person's not seeing it as a problem, what are they seeing it as? A curse? Something that can't be changed?
Yeah. Because where there's a problem, there's always a solution.
What about people that are in denial, Adam, that don't think there is a problem? It's everybody else. It ain't me. It's her black ass. You know why I said that? Because I just heard that from a family member yesterday on a phone call about another family member. I ain't the problem. And I'm sitting here going, that is the problem. Or at least a part of it.
See, if people are in denial phase, and like we can always encourage, but we cannot force. If people don't want to admit there is a problem or don't want to talk, they're either in denial phase or they're just not ready to talk.
Okay, so how does a person get out of denial?
All we can do is just keep talking.
Okay, what about those?
Have a random conversation and then suddenly just bring it up.
Okay.
Because in a matter of time, they will get sick of being asked it, and then they'll just give in.
Okay. Right. A lot of us, you know, in a deep relationship, partnership, marriage, you all know how that works. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing.
Yeah.
Honey, come on. What's wrong? 10 minutes later. Nothing. 4 hours later. Honey, you sure know what's wrong? Now. Then 5 hours, right when you just went to sleep. Okay, you really want to know? I can wake up. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what's wrong. So I get it. I do get it. So I had a really good question. What about what about when we're that person? When we're that person that sees something in someone who's in our close circle of influence that could be speaking to a mental health fracture or a crack in the vase. And we know it usually because we got that look. That's exactly like the one in me, that same crack. I know that, but they don't want to hear it. Now, a lot of times it's not what we say, but how we say it.
Exactly,
Let's talk about how we bring in the idea that I see something here and I want to help you help yourself. What's a great way to get someone to put the dukes down, to just be ready to possibly receive?
Sitting down, obviously come away from all the technology you can, and just talking, because I believe, people may agree, people may disagree. That's really on them. But really, I believe the best people to talk to is if you have a problem, to speak, like if say mental health, depression, PTSD, whatever, speak to someone that's actually been there, that knows what rock bottom looks like. Because the majority of the professionals here, they ain't got a clue what they're talking about. They don't. Like schools. My son, he's 9 years old. He wants to learn about mental health now, but the schools keep silencing him. So obviously that's triggering me.
Wow.
To say something about it.
That's a great point. I didn't know. Why are people so afraid of it? But listen, Sherry McQueen said something here, which is really true, and I never looked at it that way. She said, oh no, Andrea Mialotti said, people will never turn away someone with cancer, but mental health, they run from.
Exactly. See, 3 years ago, I didn't think about my family, and I wanted to jump off a cliff and end it all because of the trauma. So obviously I went to the police. I had to talk to them. They didn't help. They were useless. So I rang an ambulance for me. So obviously I got taken up to the hospital, and obviously I had a seatbelt wrapped around my neck. I wanted to end it. So I was on 24/7 watch. I had 2 security guards watching me at all time in case I try something. And then they didn't think I was dangerous to myself enough. So they discharged. Exactly. Seatbelt wrapped around your neck.
You ain't pulled off no
enough.
fingernails yet. You ain't plucked your eye out. Soon as you cut off an ear, don't worry, man. We got you.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, they discharged me because I wasn't a danger to myself, even though I had a seatbelt wrapped around my neck. So I walked home. I literally walked home. It took about 5 miles. About that. And you know what? That is the best sort of self-care ever. Nature, self-care, the best.
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely. I want to ask you. I can't believe this hour has flown by. We're gonna have to get you back here. Yeah, let's talk about. Here's. I got a question that just popped in my mind. And the reason I say this is because a little over a year ago, one of my sister's husbands took his own life, and it was because of chronic pain from a bunch of surgeries and things, and everyone thought he was just crazy, and you know, this and the other. And I remember we found a voicemail on his son's phone after he had already done it, and he was pleading in there, and there was something about his voice that was just so, you could tell it was that's the end of the rope, and I can't take it. Make sure they do an autopsy. No one believes me. And I thought about it afterwards, and I said, you know, no matter how crazy somebody sounds, when they say this is what they feel, it is real. If only to them, it is real. So my question is, why, you know, chronic pain? There's a lot of stuff about chronic pain. Oh, my back pain. Oh, it's caused by fibromyalgia. It's caused by this. Chronic pain is never, as far as I know, connected or used in diagnosing mental health. When you say you were in a lot of pain, you were in chronic pain.
Yeah.
Just like the person with the spine injury, just like the person with the head injury or whatever, chronic pain never goes away. Talk about that if you could. Take us out of this interview. Why is that? Is it possible to have chronic pain as far as mental health being the
Yes, because the chronic pain is actually linked to anxiety. Now, I know that because when I was really low and I was having these anxiety attacks, I was getting muscle spasms in my arm, in my legs, and it caused me a lot of pain. But obviously, I'm sorry about the person you know that took his life. Prayers are with you all. But if people can talk, that's what people need to do. It's just keep talking.
That's what I say. Have the conversation.
And if you want to talk about mental health, but someone's trying to stop you, remove that problem, because you don't need that person, that negativity in your life. This is why I have turned spiritual. I've turned spiritual now, and I love it.
Hallelujah. Me too. Me too. And I think it's important too that when you go to someone and you're ready to lay it in front of somebody for the first time, it may be your only person, the only time you can do it. Make sure that you have checked the health and wellness of the person you going to.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's important that we're constantly checking the ticket stubs of those people that we escort and say, sit here, sit in the front row seats of my life. Because when I can't show up for me, when Lauren is nowhere in the building, I want to be able to count on those people, because when I go for that 911 call to somebody, I usually go to the people that are in the front row seats of my life. And I don't want somebody to say, can I call you back? I'm in the Starbucks line and it's busy in here. And because they don't hear what's wrong with you? You know, when it's somebody you really care about, as soon as you hear their voice, you go, what's wrong? Where you at?
Those are the wrong words. Those are the wrong words to what's wrong. It should be what's happened. How can we help?
What's happened?
Yeah.
That's
great. Why people use the wrong words, and that's holding on to stigma also.
I think we need to get you back here again, because we've just barely cracked the shell on this today.
We're just scratching it, Lauren.
I know it. Oh, right. Not even cracking, scratching. Oh, cracking and scratching. So if people, in the meantime, in the interim, if you want to connect with Adam, and I highly recommend you do, even if it's just to go to his pages and things and look at all the great content and resources. He's always putting out resources. Go there and check it out. On Instagram, it's MH, stands for Mental Health Warrior 2020. If LinkedIn is your jam, just type in the name Adam DUVAL, and also on Facebook, the Mental Health Warriors. He has a lot of resources, like I said, a lot of groups. You can talk to him. He works with people one-on-one.
Yep.
Just get there. Like Olita Adams said, you can get here by railway. You can get here by trailway. Take a camel. I don't care. Just get here if you can. Okay. Mental health awareness, something that should not be mental health month, mental health day.
No.
It should be mental health moments. We should be beside each other every step of the way. Adam DUVAL, thank you so very much. Man, you really know your stuff. You really do. And I just love you, man, because you put yourself and your history, your present and your future. You involve your children, your partner. If it needs to be said, you say it, and you deal with the repercussions later. I love that, because that's how I like to live my life, unfucking apologetically. I'm tired. I have lived enough of the other. That's right. All we have to do, everybody, take a lead from Adam right here. 4 agreements, be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Don't take things personally. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. And the most important of all, always, always, always do your best. When you do your best, what is greater than has promised to do the rest. So take that with you. Adam, I'll see you soon. Hang out in the green room. I want to yell at you about something real quick. You guys get out there and have the very best life and day that you can. Be good to yourself. Be better to others. And remember, to change your own life and change others through your life, all you got to do is make a commitment every day, no matter what. Somewhere in this 24 hours, I'm going to meet a person or a situation, and I am going to leave it better than the way I found it. That's what it's about. That's it. We're over and out, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Meet me back here tomorrow. Big Country Brian, Big Country Conwell. He is a single amputee, combat veteran. He is also a downhill skiing champion and is training for the Paralympics right now. And we're going to talk to him tomorrow about his journey. Yep, since he was here last. And I'll meet you all out front tomorrow morning, God willing, at 8 a.m. Central on the front porch for our next episode of Bathrobe Moments. Be blessed and be the blessing. Bye, Adam. Thank you, man.
Bye.